This happens all the time on these bikes. See right there? The exhaust pipe always breaks right there. Very poor design. I'm using my universal socket to take these two bolts out. That's one. Save the bolts because you'll need them for the new one. See right there where the pipe broke? Pathetic. Look how thin it is. There's a lot of stress on this pipe because of the way the suspension and the bike works. The engine moves back and forth, which causes the muffler to move, so this whole thing moves like this. Puts a lot of stress on that steel pipe. That's why they always break right there. And also, since you got this off, it would be a good time to open this up. I have another video on my channel about that. You open this up, take the rear wheel off, and check the bearings to make sure that they have enough grease. Take out this bolt here, this big nut here, these two bolts here, and that's it. Pretty easy job. There's a bearing inside of here. Carefully pry off this cover. This hasn't been serviced in a long time, as you can see. Need to put some grease in here. Get the grease in there the best you can. Use your socket to turn it. And put another layer of grease in there. Do that and put as much grease in as you want. Carefully put the bearing cover back on. Use the same screwdriver that you took it out with. Carefully push it back in, make sure it clicks in and it's secure. It's made out of aluminum, so be careful. You don't want to bend it too much, otherwise it won't go in right. Alright, now I can put the wheel back on. Gotta pop this nut back off. That might be a little tricky now because it's on there a little snug. You can also clean off all the brake dust inside of here too, and inside of the drum. Move the shock out of the way, put it up here. It's a pain to get this wheel on, it's a tight fit. Make sure it's secure. Okay, you can hear the gears turning in the gearbox. Put the spacer back on. There's also another bearing inside of here that you want to check. I'm not going to show you that here, but you guys know how to do that stuff. Longer bolt goes in the bottom over here. Put the shock bolt back in. Put this nut back on. See how the rubber has this little thing right here that overlaps? That hugs onto the bracket, see? You want to make sure you put that the right way. Do them one at a time. Do this one first. So just take the bracket and slide it down. The pipe right here where the exhaust comes out, you want that to point down, just like the original one. So make sure it's pointing down when you put it on the bike. Just put all the nuts on, but don't tighten them up very much because you're going to need to be able to move all of this around to get everything into the right spot. Just get it on like that where it's slightly threaded in so it's not going to fall off. Make sure you put the rubber like this. You don't want to have the rubber coming down here where the bolt goes. You want it all the way around this. Come under here with your 10mm socket, remove the 2 stud nuts, install the new pipe, just start to tighten up the parts. Don't tighten them up yet because we have to make sure everything's lined up first. I had to move the muffler back a little bit because the exhaust pipe didn't have enough room, so I could move and maneuver it to get it onto the engine. The gasket. Get one of the bolts in first. Pick it up like this. Line it up. Put one of the bolts in first. Pick it up, line it up with the hole right there in the top. Just screw it in a little bit. Then do the other 2. Once you get everything lined up, then you can go and snug up all the bolts. This one I'm going to have to take off because the rubber got screwed up here when I was adjusting it. Just remove the bracket and then reposition the rubber. Feel all the way around, make sure that the rubber is in the right spot. It's locked onto the bracket. Snug up this bolt and then the bolt down here. And that's it for the muffler. Now let's tighten up these 3 right here. Look at that. See that? They always break right there. Pathetic. They're 10mm. Do them incrementally because there's a gasket here. Next, go under the bike and tighten the exhaust pipe to the engine. Here's what the new muffler and exhaust pipe look like installed. Let's go ahead and turn the bike on and make sure that it's nice and quiet again. Not like what you heard in the beginning of the video.